Hi, welcome to First Step Azure Cloud Services. In this video, we are going to see how to create Azure Blob Storage account using Azure CLI. Before proceeding further, please make sure that you have created a valid subscription and resource group in place. Okay. If you go to this repository link, you can find the repository called Azure Cloud Services. In Azure Cloud Services, go to Resource Creation CLI, create Azure Blob Storage. This page will give you the complete insight of the various flavors that we can create a blob storage using Azure CLI. Okay. As I mentioned, subscription and resource group are two mandatory requirements. Other than that, you need to have a service principal as well. It's not only the service principal must have the required roles and permissions at the resource group level. Say for an example, if the service principal needs to have access to create any storage account, it needs to have storage account contributor access. If the service principal needs to create any data factory, it needs to have data factory contributor access. Like that, the service principal must have the required roles and permissions at the resource group level. This is the third requirement. And finally, I assume that you have Azure CLI installed in your local machine and it is configured according to your operations. Okay. This is the command which allow you to create storage account in Azure. AZ storage account create. It contains two mandatory parameters, name and resource group. Name is nothing but the storage account name that we are going to give, and resource group is nothing but the resource group where we are going to create the storage account. Other than this, whatever the parameters you see here, these are optional parameters. According to your use case, you can pass it or you can either skip it. Okay, you can see here, based on my real-time experience, I have filtered out these parameters most widely used across multiple use cases. Name and resource group is something that we have already seen. Access tier is nothing but the account type, like say whether it's a hot or cool or premium type of tier. If it is hot, it's most frequently used. If it is cool, it's less frequently used. Say for an example, hot can be used for development, pre-prod and prod use cases, whereas cool can be used for any backup servers or any DR servers. Okay, SKU is nothing but the redundant strategy. By default, if you give GRS, it will take standard RAGRS. Okay, and these are the various values that we can pass in for the SKU. This is nothing but the redundant strategy or replication strategy. And finally, account type. Account type is nothing but the Active Directory account type that we need to give while creating the storage account. Okay, and related to LRS, GRS, ZRS, and GZRS, I have given the description here. You can go through this one. Okay, let's come to the examples how we can create a storage account here. You can see this command will basically create this storage account with the name of SAFS BLB devtest eastus 002 in the resource group RG first step devtest 001 in East US2 region. Okay, with the SKU type of standard LRS. And this command will create blob storage with the suffix of 003 in the same resource group, whereas the region is East US, but the change you can see it only creates for the storage account V2 and with account key. Okay. Along with these examples, I have given a automated script that you can use for most of the use cases to create blob storage dynamically in the same naming convention that I have given here. Okay, you can see it reads properties from this property file where it has the blob storage account name, resource group, access tier, and whatever the parameters that we typically see and use here. Okay, it is not only these 7 parameters. Whatever you see here, you can in future add it in this property, and this property will be automatically converted into this variable, and we can directly take it here. Okay, once this is available here, you can see we are trying to log into the Azure CLI using service principal. Once it is logged in, the login success, then we are like once the login success, then we are trying to check whether the storage account name that we're trying to give is already exist or not. If it exists, it will increment the number and it will check the latest name, storage account name, until it finds the valid name. Okay, once the valid name is found, that name we are using to create the storage account here. Okay, once this step is executed successfully, we'll log out from Azure CLI, and the storage account can be virtually seen in Azure Storage Explorer or Azure Portal or VS Code anywhere. Okay, let's go ahead and create the storage account. In order to create the storage account, first we need to log into the Azure CLI. Okay, I have already opened the PowerShell here. For security reasons, I have already configured the app ID, app secret, and tenant in my system environment variable. You can do the same as well. So I am just going to simply copy this and paste it here. So this will basically log into our Azure portal or Azure in CLI. Okay. Once this is login, the next command that we need to execute is this command. Okay, so you can see here this command I'm copying. Before creating this, let me go to the resource group. You can see here it has only SAFS blob devtest is2s2 001 storage account. It does not have any 002 storage account. Let us confirm the same in VS Code as well. In VS Code, this is the list of resources that we have. In resource list storage account, we have only one. Even in Storage Explorer, we have only one storage. Okay. The reason why I'm confirming this in VS Code and storage account, sometimes due to glitch in portal.azure.com, you may not be able to see the newly created resources immediately. It may take some time to refresh. Okay. So now let's go back to the command, copy it and paste it into our Azure CLI. So you can see AZ storage account create -n stands for name, the storage account name, -g stands for resource group, the resource group name, -l stands for the region or location, the location, and SKU with standard LRs. Okay. Before hitting enter, let us add this command -o none. This will skip the output being printed into the CLI. Okay. Now let's hit enter. So this command will create Azure Blob Storage account in RG first step devtest 001 resource group with the name of SAFS blob devtest is2s2 002. You can see the command is currently running. Once the command is successful, we can see the newly created storage account inside our Azure portal or VS Code or storage account. Let us wait until the command completes. It may take like couple of seconds, like 15 to 30 seconds max, not more than that, because we have not passed any other parameters. Now you can see the command successfully execute. If you have any error while creation, it will throw error. It will not come to the next command. Okay. Now let us go to the portal.azure.com and confirm the resource creation. So here you can see once I refresh, the resource is not available. As I said, it may take some time to refresh it here in this portal.ui. So let's go to the VS Code. You can see it has only one storage account. Let me refresh it. You might be able to see the second storage account created. The same way, I'll go to Storage Explorer, click refresh. You can see the second storage account is created. Like this, let's create the third storage account. Go to the same thing, copy the command. Once the command is copied, paste it here, -o none. Okay, so this will create a storage account with the suffix of 003 in the same resource group where the kind is only storage account v2 or account key. Let's hit enter. So this time it will create the third storage account in the same resource group. Again, it might not take more than like 15 to 30 seconds, not more than that. Okay, once it is created, we could able to easily see the newly resources created available inside any of the places like Azure portal or storage account or VS Code, because all three points to same portal only. But sometimes in Azure portal it may take some reasonable amount of time and refresh. It may vary from 10 minutes to 2 hours max. Okay, let's go to Azure portal one more time. Let's try refreshing it. Let's see whether it is showing. No, it is not showing. Let's go back to the VS Code, hit refresh. Okay, it's not showing here. Let's go back here and hit refresh. See, it is showing. Since it's only storage account v2, it might not be able to visible in our VS Code, but you can see here it's available only in our Storage Explorer. So these are the ways possibly we can create an Azure storage account using Azure CLI. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.